Hello and welcome back. I'm so excited because I'm going to talk about neuroplasticity and the brain. And just guess who is here. Hello, Dr. Mitra Khorramshadi, live from New York. And I'm here live from Los Angeles. Hello and welcome back.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well, thanks.
Amazing, amazing. So, uh, Dr. Khorramshadi, one more time, let's talk about brain and brain function. And
Absolutely. My pleasure.
my pleasure. Thank you for your time. So, let's see. How our brain wired?
Beautiful question. Actually, we have to talk about a little bit of the basic of the neuroscience,
Uh-huh.
which we call it as a neuro means the neurons or the, nerve cells. And the science means that, how they are, trying to study this branch of science and find out that how the neurons are communicating with each other, how they are interacting to each other. So basically, I'm talking about the neurons, and neurons look like a mushroom. Just imagine that you do have two mushrooms, and we are trying to make a connection between these two mushrooms with a little bit of the food process, like a hairy dendrite, and a little bit of the chemical stuff, such as neurotransmitter, dopamine, adrenaline, neurotransmitters, such as the serotonin and other stuffs.
Mhm.
So basically, our brain is wired based on the level and the numbers of the neurons. It means that each neurons has the capacity to make a connection with another neurons, or does have the capacity to make a connection with the 10 or thousands of the neurons. So
Mhm.
just imagine that you are in the jungle and bunch of the trees are get connected with the branches to each other. So it's a kind of dense
Mhm.
material, and like a railroad, that they are crossing each other and they are connecting each other. All our neurons are connecting based on the level of their function and based on the location of them.
Mhm.
If you are watching a flower, if you are watching a movie, you have to be able to see them, and you have to be able to hear the sounds and then connect these two images and impulses, and then understand that what's going on with the movie, or with the scene. So
Yes.
basically we do have the different circuit for watching, circuit for hearing, so circuit for smelling, and there is a more sophisticated and more complex circuit that we call it as a small circuit, and we call it as a long circuit. Long circuit means that one part of the brain go far away to other part of the brain and say hi, and then communicate with each other.
Mhm.
But closed circuit means that neurons by neurons, that they are such a neighbor, knock the door and say, hey, I'm here, so they communicate with each other. So
Mhm.
we do have two different type of the communication based on the circuit that we do have the in the brain system, and each one does have the specific function, and they do have this specific meaning for us.
Before going to next question, I like to talk again about neuroplasticity. What is neuroplasticity?
Very good.
As you know, we have different viewers every time. That's why we want to review this question, and then we are going to next question.
All right. So I was talking about a little bit of the neurons and the circuits and how these neurons are communicating with each other. It's looked like a pathway that there's a pathway between my house to the drugstore. There is a pathway from my house to the park. So different pathway between different cells.
Mhm.
And neuroplasticity means that every individual person does have the specific pathway or circuit or wiring, but depend on different stimulus that we got it from the outside, we can change this pathway. If you go to the same drugstore over and over and over, you are moving from one pathway. You are moving from your house to another block and another block up to you get to the drugstore. But if you decided to go other parts of the town and get something such as a Tylenol for yourself, so you are seeing the different stuff, different pathway, and different wiring, exactly the same happening in your brain. So I'm trying to tell you that neuroplasticity is a science that helping us to change and make a difference in our brain connection and our wiring.
Amazing. So, uh, it was a very beautiful explanation. How our left and right brain works.
Very nice, touch. Actually, we do have two hemisphere. One is the left side, and the other one is the right side. And they do have a different function. They do have the different jobs for us. Some of the people you see that they are so detail oriented. They are
Mm-hmm.
executive functioning. It's so high rank, and they can run a lot of stuff. So they are actually working with the left side of the brain, and you see the other people are involved with the art, music. They are so creative. They get interested to a lot of spontaneous activities. So this is the right side of the brain. So what I'm trying to tell you that if we can make a connection between the right side activity and the left side activity with the corpus callosum, which is the very thick band, very composed neurons, then we will be understand that how we can have a better standard of the life using our left brain and our right brain both together.
So, one more time. The all creative parts is right,
Absolutely.
and left side is
Your logic, executive
logic.
functioning, detail orientation, and
Mm-hmm.
mostly focus on calculation and mathematics.
Okay, so uh, how neuroscience help us to understand mind and the brain?
Well, actually, mind is the state of your spirituality.
Mm.
It means that a state of your being. But the
Mm-hmm.
brain is the physical material. When we are
Exactly.
talking about the brain, we are talking about the neurotransmitter. We are talking about the cells. We are talking about the viable cells that they are talking or communicating with each other. But when we are talking about how you feel and based on your state of the mind. If you are a happy person, so you act like happy, but if you are sad or gloomy or depressed, then your behavior is going to be slow. So based on your state of mind, your behavior would be changed.
So, what's the difference of negative stimuli and the positive one?
I should tell you that we experience a lot of stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are pleasant, good, and positive, and some of them are negative, unpleasant, and so annoying. So we do have the different stimuli every single day in our daily life.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the difference between these two type of the stimuli? I have
Exactly.
to tell you that on the positive stimuli, when we do have the pleasant experience, it's going to bounce on the brain. It's going to touch the brain, just touch the brain, and then move on. It's not going to sink. But when you do have the negative experience, it will sink in your memory. So if
Hmm.
you do have a bad experience, you will remember it very good in details. But if you do have the good experience, it's not going to sink in your brain. So for sinking in your brain, good stimuli supposed to be repeated and repeated at least 6 to 7 times. We need repetition for a good stimuli, for pleasant stimuli to remember them.
Interesting. I like it. So, okay, guys, 6 to 7 times for good stimulates. Practice, practice, and repeat it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, uh, what are the effects of genetic and epigenetic uh, in our behavior, in our relationship?
All right, cool. Um, when we get burned from our mother, with fetus is coming to the birth, and experiencing the different thousand stimuli in the world, we
Hmm.
have to know that our neurons are connecting, our brain is wiring, and we are coding our brains and neurons actually. So these are the genetic. It means that your data, your information, your chromosome and your genes is totally different from mine, and
Hmm.
every single individual does have the specific information that we call it as a gene bank.
Hmm.
So this is the genetic. This is the information that I do not have any control on it. But epigenetic is talking about the branch of the science that we could make a changes in our genetic bank or genetic information. I have to tell you that if I give an example, just imagine that my mom and dad or my family history, the whole of them are so obese, and I do have the gene for obesity, and I do have the tendency for obesity.
Hmm.
But it's up to me that control my diet, exercise, and the level of the activity and the stress of mine in my daily life. So basically, I do have the power to control and manage and even though change the possibility of getting weight and being obese.
So let's see. We have a question in our app. Interesting. We have very creative people here. So they wants to have one more question, sorry, one more example and more explanation about this part.
Absolutely. We do have a lot of, adverse stimuli in our environment. Just
Mm-hmm.
imagine that the, pollution, viruses, any type of, sickness that you do have,
Mm-hmm.
or just your diet, or whatever is associated with the level of the stress. All of them are associated with the epigenetic. Means that if I have control on my these characters, I
Mm-hmm.
can change the outcome on my behavior. I can change outcome on my life. I mean the quality of the life. So if I change the level of the stress that I'm working in the area or dealing with the people, I do have a better quality of the life. It means that my wiring of the brain would be better for my functionality. So I will be a happy person, and then I do have the better activity and the functionality. So it means that whatever associated with the environment, it means that whatever is associated under the control of the human being, we can make changes in our destiny. It doesn't matter that you do have the gene for the breast cancer. You can change your diet, exercise, and the level of the stress to prevent the cancer, to
Mm-hmm.
prevent for developing of the cancer. So we are not the victim of a gene bank. We
Mm-hmm.
are, do have the opportunity to change whatever is happening in our life.
Amazing, amazing. You're talking about, uh, change wiring. Something looks like it's electronic, something here, but that definitely it is. So how we can, we make a change in our wiring system, in our brain.
Very, very nice question. If you
I know
do
it's
the
a
same
simple
activity,
question. Sorry, it's a simple question, but I'm sure you can talk about
I
this
said very
100
nice
hours.
question. I said very nice question. If you do have same activity over and over, just imagine that you do have the same routine. You get
Mhm.
up at the specific time, you drink your coffee or having a small breakfast, and then going to the work, and then come back to the home. And then, you do have a little bit of the physical activity, and every single day you do have the same and same and
Mhm.
same experiences. actually you are using one part of the brain. So you are using a
Exactly.
specific pathway of brain. Some example, if you are having a day planned to go to the seaside, or going to the jungle, or going to a lake, or having a boat and seasiding. So these are different examples that bring the different experiences in your life, and it means that different part of your brain will be activated and will connected to each other. And then that we do have the neurons that works together, fire together, and function together. So basically, with the different experiences every single day, we are trying to create a new pathway. So that's why that we can make a changes based on the new pathway in our brain system.
Wow, amazing. So, we have more time if you want to explain this part, because I am very concerned about this part, because end of the day is a change, our wiring in our brain, and that part could be, help people, right?
Absolutely. So what I'm trying to tell you that if you want neuroplasticity,
Mm-hmm.
you should experience the different stimuli,
Mm-hmm.
different experiences that you're never ever been involved in that. Imagine that you never listened to the music. So start listening to the music, because the music is a kind of, external stimuli for
Mm-hmm.
activating different part of the brain. If
Right.
you never ever have a ballet,
Mm-hmm.
just go for a dance, have a ballet or something else that you never ever experienced it. If
Mm-hmm.
you never experience, biking or riding,
Or
try
hiking,
to do it,
yes.
because with each activity, we do have the different neurons activation and different neurons pathway. What I'm trying to explain that, pathway of the brain is very important. Is look like a branch of the trees. We have to make a different branch, different
Mm-hmm.
connection, and
Mm-hmm.
different pathway. If you do that, you will, experiences more energy and feel much better, and you can have a higher quality of the life.
Amazing, amazing. So, okay, folks, just start, experience new, new things. Just
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
try it, different things, new things, and every new things, each one making new path in our brain. And practice, practice,
absolutely.
practice. Especially for good things, you should do it at least
Yes.
6, 7 times. Okay, Dr. Mitra Khorramshadi, thank you so much, and see you next time.
See you then. Thank
Thank you.
you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It was amazing, right? So stay in touch. We have more episodes. If you miss any episode, please, please, please go to our website, go to our archive, and you can go and find brain function. In that page, we have all the episodes. Thank you so much, and stay in touch.